I don't know.
All right, good evening, everyone.
Evening.
It is 6 o'clock, so the work session for mayor and council for July 1st is called to order. Ms. Rainey, can we have our roll call, please?
Yes, good evening, Mayor and Council, City Manager and constituents. This is the roll call for the July 1st, 2024 work session meeting. Mayor Butler,
Present.
Councilmember James,
Present.
Councilmember Anton,
Everybody, how's everybody doing?
Councilmember Gutierrez,
Present.
Councilmember Akins Wells. Councilmember Mears. Mayor Butler, you have a quorum.
All right, thank you. The adoption of the consent agenda. Is there anything on the consent agenda that the council wishes to remove or add?
No, Mayor, I don't see none.
All right, that was Councilman Antoine. Is there anyone else? If not, I'm going to ask for a motion to adopt tonight's consent agenda.
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second? That was Councilman Mears. Is there any discussion? Ms. Rainey?
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Anton.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Thank you. Now, the adoption of tonight's agenda. Is there any additions or deletions that need to be added to the regular agenda items? Not hearing any. Is there a motion to adopt tonight's agenda?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Mears. Any other discussion? Ms. Rainey?
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Anton.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Old business, council discussion on a vehicle take-home policy. Background and history. In 2020, the city council enacted a policy pertaining to take-home vehicles. The city manager presently seeks guidance on necessary revisions. Subsequent to the transition to a new administration team, in the absence of complete historical records, the city manager has drafted a comprehensive update to the take-home policy predicated on discussions with the governing body. This matter is presented solely for the purpose of initial review to solicit input from the city council, and this is the second read for this item. Mr. Clark, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yes, ma'am. Mayor and council, members of the governing body, tonight we're actually seeking adoption of this policy. Again, as stated on the agenda, this is the second read. In between the last council meeting that we had to now, there were no changes. And so we just asked for the governing body to either opine or move forward with us and enabling staff to have a concrete policy for our take-home vehicles.
All right, thank you. Councilwoman James, questions or comments?
No.
Councilman Antoine?
Nope.
Councilman Gutierrez?
No, I do want to highlight though, the work the city manager did by getting us all together, discussing this and bringing both public safety directors to the table. I just appreciated that. Thank you, city manager.
Councilwoman Wells?
No, thank you.
And Councilman Mears?
Nope.
All right, thank you. New business, community garden request. Background and history. Community gardens play a crucial role in fostering numerous benefits for neighborhoods and society as a whole. Community gardens encourage the cultivation of fresh, nutritious produce locally. This can improve access to healthy food options, especially in urban areas where fresh produce may be less accessible. Councilwoman Akins Wells has requested a presentation to the governing body regarding the community garden in Ward 4. And so Councilwoman Wells, you have the floor.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
So I don't know if you all are familiar with the Willie Finch Community Garden in Ward 4. It has been there since I've been on the council. I think it was there before I got on the council, but it was kind of neglected and just an open field with nothing on it. And so myself and the council aides and a few other people, we, with the help of Mr. Nigel, thank you for escorting us. But we went to a lot of different gardens in different communities and to get ideas on what to do with the Willie Finch Community Garden. So I got this presentation because I wanted to come bring it to council so that we can get funding. After that, it would be, of course, taken care of by volunteers of the community, but it's going to take some cost to get it started. First, the benefits of the community garden. It increases access to fresh foods, increases physical activity, improves mental health, and promotes relaxation. In a time dominated by social media, the community garden gets us back to the true meaning of getting social, building a sense of community by interacting with our friends as well as our neighbors. So a blank canvas. So this is a picture of the community garden right now. So what we're trying to do or wanting to do is place some raised beds in the garden. So flower garden, we need a flower garden to attract the pollinators, a few fruit orchard. And y'all have to excuse me, I'm nervous. I hate coming in late. So my nerves all over the place. Adequate seating around the garden, a shed for tool storage, multi-use pavilion for events, classes, as well as meetings. And so this is a property line. This is the property line, and this is kind of the idea of what we want to bring to the Willie Finch Community Garden. And so this is the budget, give or take some. You all can read that. And so I'm coming to council because the initial startup would be approximately $20,000, and of course, unless we get sponsors. So yeah, so growing partnerships within the community, the churches, the school, local businesses, nonprofits, as well as volunteers. So again, I just wanted to present this to the council. Although it is in Ward 4, it is a community garden. And so I just think that we should be able to at least get the startup costs along with whatever sponsorships we may get. But I just thought it was a great idea. I enjoyed visiting the other gardens in the different communities. They are absolutely beautiful. And I know Miss Samaria, when she was in the city of Jonesboro, she was the one that kind of started up the Jonesboro Community Garden, and it's absolutely amazing. So this is just something I want to put on the agenda for consideration.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman James.
So is this the part of the funds for our project that you're talking about?
No.
For the
this is
startup?
separate.
Would be separate. What line item, Mr. Clark, would that come out of?
We could essentially take it from the contingency line item, which we have $198,000 that we've appropriated for our fiscal year 24 budget. We could do that.
So what was the amount that we increased our individual budgets to? Do you remember? that
You
number?
only increase your events budget.
Events,
You
okay.
didn't,
So it's
and that
not
was
in-
$45,000.
Okay, so
So
that,
you didn't increase anything else.
so do we have a capital overlay budget item?
We do have a capital overlay budget. I've asked the finance team to go get me the budget book, but I want to say that amount of money that we budgeted for capital for each of the respective wards is, Mr. Wiggins,
I think it was 47,000.
$47,000.
It's be taken out of that.
You could, I mean, you could take it from your capital, or you could make an allocation within other avenues of your budget, whatever the will of the governing body was.
Thank you.
Councilman Antoine,
No question.
Councilman Gutierrez.
I love this initiative. I love the logo. I love that it's got Willie Finch, who's still around on it to honor him. I think we need more things like this. I've gone to the Little Ones Learning Center and just seen children interact with dirt and just be out there in nature is something that is priceless. So I'm in full support of this. I think we should have a separate line item for this because this is for everybody in Forest Park. Like right there, it says community garden. So I think that this should be a separate line item. And definitely, I'm gonna reach out to my partnerships, Councilwoman Wells, and connect them with you. So to see if they have, I know the Boy Scouts build those things for their Eagle Scouts, the beds and things, and they do and that stuff for free, as long as we buy them the stuff. But that can be later. I think we need to start it up, so people can get out there. I just, being in the schools and seeing our children just locked in with iPads and electric devices. A lot of our parents sometimes don't have means activities for them, but connecting them with nature, teaching them how you can plant something and then eat it, and interacting with different generations, like, getting an opportunity to talk to Mr. Finch if he's out there, or other members of the community. I think it's priceless and it just builds community. So I hope that we can add this to a separate line item since it is something for everybody in Forest Park. So thank you for pushing this.
And the other thing, just to be clear, the request that I hear from Councilwoman Akins Wells is for startup. Because essentially, and Samaria is the expert at these community gardens by far. What'll happen is once you get your initial startup cost, you're going to receive the grant funding to sustain the garden. But with any grant funding, they want to see that you've committed your actual local match to get it started. So I'm assuming that the $20,000 is just to get it started up in order for us to apply for the grants to receive all of the reimbursables. Am I correct? Okay. And I only bring in Samaria because Samaria is known as the local community garden expert, receiving a lot of awards. And since it was an initiative that Ms. Wells wanted to do, the council aides and the two of them collab, which I think is an amazing thing for the organization. But a community garden is much more than just the obvious. It is intended to be a place for individuals in not adequately served or disproportionately served communities to have great access to natural homegrown food.
Councilwoman Wells, is there anything you want to add?
Yes, just to piggyback off of what Councilman Gutierrez said is, although it's in Ward 4, we all serve the community. And so I would like for it to be a separate line item because it would benefit Forest Park as a whole. It's just located in Ward 4.
Councilman Mears? So one of the initiatives coming forth with Main Street, downtown Main Street, is Up Early on Main, in which we are going to plan a series of communal events where people could come out and get fresh fruits and vegetables, et cetera. And so would this be something from the Willie Finch Community Garden where we could take some of those items and maybe, I don't know if you want to sell them or donate them, but so people can have access to them that way?
Oh, yes, the garden would be open to everyone. So we're definitely not looking to sell them.
So we can get some and bring it to Main Street for those events and then people can have access to them?
I'm learning, Mayor Butler, if you will, that we have the allocation for ARPA, if that was the direction that the council wanted to go for requested funds. I just received a message from finance.
That's correct. We can, if you want to put it on one, we can, create a line in ARPA and just use ARPA funds for that startup.
Because it's capital.
And
Yeah,
that's on the work session
20,000.
for us to vote on, correct?
I think it went one of the decisions tonight, yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Item 7, council discussion on a fraternization and nepotism policy. Background and history. The city of Forest Park has been experiencing significant growth, and in order to continuously maintain high ethical standards and professionalism, we are asking for the approval of a fraternization and nepotism policy. The goal of the new policy is to promote fairness, prevent conflicts of interest, enhance transparency, and improve workplace morale. This decision to implement a fraternization and nepotism policy is a proactive measure to align with best practices and to meet the expectations for ethical governance. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As you stated in the background and summary, the Human Resources Department is bringing before you a policy that we have worked on with the city attorney to implement for the fraternization and nepotism policy as a proactive measure. Basically, there are some pros and cons to enacting this policy, but it has a lot of pros, like maintain professionalism, reduce conflict of interest, prevents favoritism, promotes fairness, avoids legal issues, set clear boundaries, and maintains the public trust. So I'm bringing this before you for approval to implement this policy.
Thank you, Councilwoman James. Councilman Antoine. Councilman Gutierrez.
Well, thank you. Thank you all for making it.
Councilwoman Wells
Thank you.
and Councilman Mears. All right, thank you. All right, item 8, council discussion of case number PP 2024-02, preliminary plat for 733-0 Scott Road. Background and history. The applicant is seeking approval of the preliminary plat to begin the process of developing the property into 2 subdivisions consisting of a total of 18 single-family homes within the single-family residential district. The applicant has met with the City of Forest Park Planning and Community Development Department, Planning Commission, and the Urban Design Review Board to discuss this project and receives specific approvals for variances and architectural design. I'm sorry, specified approvals for variances and architectural designs. So good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. We've been working with this applicant for over 3 years, perhaps longer than that. And tonight they are seeking approval for preliminary plat approval. We've gone through all the processes. The Planning Commission has approved it. The Urban Design Commission has approved the design, and staff has worked very closely with this developer to get this project completed. And so tonight we're just asking you to approve the preliminary plat. He will get the plat recorded with the county, and then he can we can start working with him and issuing permits to start construction on the site. It's 18 homes and it's on 3.5 acres.
Thank you, Councilwoman James. Councilman Antoine, Councilman Gutierrez.
Yeah, I thought before, one of the things that we didn't approve it was because of the amount of houses that were gonna be on there. So now there's 8, how many was it initially when they came before?
If I recall, Council, this happened prior to me coming back. I think there was like 22, 23 or something like that, and we got it down to 18.
I want to be clear. There's a clear distinction. The presentation that was before council the last time was for the erection of townhomes, right?
Mhm.
This has changed now, and that was within the last 5 or 6 months.
That's correct.
The single-family residential are approved at right. What you are approving tonight or denying is the actual preliminary plat. Everything else relative to that development has been approved.
Right. I'm sorry, Council, I didn't understand.
It's
because
okay.
I don't recall the townhomes.
So
I just
this all
recall-
falls within what?
They are allowed to do.
Yeah, they are allowed to do this. It's zoned residential.
Okay,
And they have it's zoned single-family residential. It is single-family residential, and they are building according to our ordinance.
okay, thank you.
Before they were coming before you, and it was.
Make an exception.
Mhm.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
thank you.
sir.
Councilwoman Wells. Councilman Mears. All right, thank you, sir. All right, well, that concludes our work session.
Wow.
Is there a motion to adjourn the work session? That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Mears. All in favor? All right, thank you. Our regular session will begin promptly at 7. Evening, everyone. It is 7 o'clock. So the regular session for Monday, July 1st for mayor and council is called to order. Tonight's invocation will be done by Dr. Golson. So all those who are able to stand, can you please do so and then remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Good evening. I'd like us to quote the beginning of the Our Father prayer together. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Thank you.
Our daily bread.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, your wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us engage in meaningful discussions. Allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of community. And as we gather in this meeting, we humbly seek your presence. Hallelujah. And grant us clarity of mind and vision, that we may see beyond challenges and find innovative solutions. Bless our discussions with insight and inspiration. May your light guide us in every decision, leading us to prosperity and success. We thank you for bringing us together today in a spirit of generosity. And may we honor one another by keeping an open mind and doing business with each other as needed. May we voice our truth and listen with an open heart. May we discuss your will to unite in fruitful outcome. May all the community of Forest Park, business owners, their employees, along with our honorable Mayor Butler, city council members, and all the other dignitaries, have faith and believe in the manifestation of success and growth in our city. I pray for every leader in this city, according to 1 Timothy 2:1-2, that they would rule justly and with godly wisdom. I pray for strength and blessings for them in the name of Jesus. And I bind Satan from operating over the political scene of this city. May they be free of suffering and the cause of suffering. May they never be disassociated from the supreme happiness, which is without suffering, and that we find in Christ Jesus. May they remain in the boundless equanimity, free from both attachment to close ones and rejections of others. May their families be blessed and prosper. And we, as the people of Forest Park, offer in humility and an attitude of thanks for the opportunities before us, and trust in God, your divine guardians. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No more. Let's get in at the church service. I think it's a council meeting.
Oh my gosh. Ms. Rainey, can we have a roll call, please?
Yes, good evening, Honorable Mayor Butler, council members, and City Manager, Mr. Clark. This is the roll call for the regular session meeting of July 1st, 2024. Mayor Butler,
Present.
Councilmember James,
Present.
Councilmember Anton,
Evening, everybody, present.
Councilmember Gutierrez,
Present.
Councilmember Akins Wells,
Here.
Councilmember Mears.
Here.
Mayor Butler, you have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Is there a motion to adopt tonight's consent agenda?
So move, Mayor.
That was Councilman Antoine. Is there a second?
I'll
That
second.
was Councilwoman James. Is there any discussion? Ms. Rainey?
Councilmember James,
Yes.
Councilmember Anton,
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez,
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells,
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes.
Thank you. Now is there a motion to adopt tonight's agenda?
No move.
That was Councilman Antoine. Is there a second?
I'll second.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there any other discussion? Ms. Rainey?
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Anton.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes,
Thank you. The approval from our work session and regular meeting minutes from June 17th. Has everyone had the opportunity to review them? And are there any changes to be recommended?
I have a question, Mayor, recommendation for the garden item. Can we, when we vote on it, can we change it to it being a line item, Ricky, or are we using that money that you said?
Well, yeah, when we get to that, that was going to be part of the discussion.
Okay, thank you.
Now back to the minutes from June 17th.
I'll make a motion that we approve.
Thank you, Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Antoine. Is there any discussion? All right, Ms. Rainey?
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Anton.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells. Councilmember Mears.
yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Public comments. Ms. Rainey, can you read the disclaimer, please?
Yes. Per the charters, per the charter, section 2-1-7, rules of procedure and decorum. Comments will be limited to a total of 3 minutes per speaker. 21 minutes are allotted in total. Members of the public are not allowed to participate in any debate or discussion conducted by the governing body members. Our public comments must be limited to matters on the agenda or over which the governing body has jurisdiction. Each speaker must maintain a decorous demeanor and refrain from personal attacks upon members of the governing body or employees, shouting and using obscene language. All questions and comments shall be directed to the presiding officer. Members of the governing body may respond to comments during their closing comments if they desire.
All right, thank you so much. So before we get into the public comments, I would like to recognize someone. She does not want to speak, but I am going to recognize her. She is our Senator-elect, Senator Wicks. So if you could please stand to be recognized. Oh, okay.
But I just want to say, Mayor Butler, city officials, city council members, I just want to say thank you all for those who did vote for me. But I want to just introduce myself. I am a 30-year veteran. I'm a mother. I serve my country, and I want to serve the citizens of Clayton County and Fayette County. And I'm here to work with you all, and I am open. I am visible, and I want to be in the community. And I look forward to working with you all. Thank you all so much.
All right, thank you.
I do thank you. Thank you all.
All right, Dr. Miriam? Is Dr. Oh.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Gwathney. I work at GenCare. I'm one of the family physicians there, so I just wanted to introduce myself to the beautiful Forest Park. I've been there for about a year now, and I love working with seniors. As you know, GenCare, we focus on taking care of seniors with offering VIP care. And I like your proposal for the garden. We try to have that, so I like to see that. Just to let you know that we do have, I work there, but I'm kind of in the Clayton County area, so I'll be working in Riverdale soon. But we have physicians who are able to see your seniors there, Dr. George, Dr. Bansel, and Dr. Iden. So again, I'm Dr. Gwathney, and I'm also registered, here to register people to vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Evans?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
One thing I want to speak on is, yes, I would love to see the community garden back up and running. I remember when we had it working before, we had about like 5 or 6 rows of vegetables over there. Plus, I believe it's like 3 raised beds we had at that time. And it was really great program. So I'd love to see that back again. I want to mention some problems with the home program. I did have, a member from, Brown Electric came out. Excellent, excellent. I mean, responded quickly and did a great job. I got their bid back quickly. Is Satan, something like that company. I've called them twice. One time was on hold 4 minutes, another time 6 minutes. Left a message, never got a return phone call. Kissburg, I've called them a couple of times. One time was told to call back in a couple hours, another time, but she never answered the phone with a company name or anything. It was just very impersonal and unprofessional. And when I told her what I needed, she started rattling off all these things. And then she just said, well, if you had to get Georgia Power involved, you know, how hard it is to get them out this time of year and blah, blah, blah. Just like it was too much work for her and she didn't want to do it. Holland Legacy, I've called and left messages with them a couple of times. Finally, on 6/24, I was told that they would have to call me back because their contractors were out of town. And I had MF Jones, same thing. I left a message, haven't heard anything back from them. TechnoServe, I'm waiting on them to get the quotes together. And I did have Eric from Ruth Clinic came out, extremely professional. He spent a lot of time doing things. He found hail damage on the house roof, and has worked with my insurance company trying to get them to approve having that replaced. But unfortunately, he wanted more than twice the or allotted dollar amount to do the work. But other than that, like I said, he was very professional, did a great job, and that Brown Electric did a great job. But TechnoServe was okay, but it's just it's hard to get them to give you the quotes you need. But most of them just absolutely unprofessional. I mean, we could have contacted somebody through trustdale.com and had people working on our houses by now. So, but anyway, thank y'all very much.
Thank you. Miss Kay Holtzclaw.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here again. I live at 738 Scott Road, 3 homes on this road. Please, I beg of you to not allow 18 houses be put down a 500-foot square road. We didn't even know this was approved because the date for the last hearing in April was changed because of something that went on at Fort Gillum. And anyway, so then we seen a sign in my neighbor's yard, 7:30, for a preliminary hearing. We didn't get to go to that. So evidently this has been passed to put 18 homes on 3.5 acres. Again, I beg of you, my husband has cancer. I went 3 surgeries this year. I mean, just the turmoil of doing all this, taking down the trees, the buffer, just all of our privacy, 5, 6 homes, 18. I beg of you. I mean, I've lived here all my life. I'm 65 years old. I just cannot see just the wrecks, the turmoil on trying to get in and out of Scott Road onto Jonesboro Road. It's just, and what I really want to know is, again, we didn't get the letters of no way this past time. And then the signs went up, and we naturally looked at the signs to see, when it was going to be for the preliminary hearing on the 0 and the 7:33 and then the 7:30. I'm very confused about the 7:30. That's my neighbor's home. And it's just all confusing because I'm in a place now to where, like I said, we've just been in and out of doctors so many times this past 3 months to where we didn't think it was still going to be 18. Again, I thought maybe we was going to be able to go lower, but 18, they're going to be sitting on top of JB Hunt and backed up to a cemetery. And the road is only for one car now. It's just, it's going to be turmoil, like I said, the trucks now that's down there, the debris that comes to us for our health, we won't even be able to even stay out for sure on our front porch. Again, 18 homes. I beg of you, I plead with everything in me. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Mr. Frank Holtz Claw.
Hello, I'm Frank Holtz Claw. I live at 738 Scott Road. And I really would like to have seen a picture of what they're wanting to do down the road. It's been going on for 3 years. You'd think someone would be proud enough to show a picture of something. You know, there's a sign at 730 Scott Road, 733 Scott Road, and 733 Scott Road has been called in past meetings, has been called 0 Scott Road. And how do you go from a 0 Scott Road and then change it to a 730 Scott Road and it's the same property? What kind of underhanded shadiness is this? That you can just deal from the bottom of the deck? And this 730 and 733 Scott Road, they actually have the same land ID number and they're on opposite sides of the road from one another. Now, what's wrong with that? Could we see a picture of how this is supposed to be? Or my neighbor just supposed to lose some of her property or all of it? Or do they know what's going on? I wish I've asked about it before, but I don't really get a good answer about nothing. I did until got good answers until the last time. And I wish someone could answer, let me know what's going on, let us know what's going on. And like I said, that road's 400 to 500 foot, is 18 foot wide. 18 homes, 2.5 vehicles per household. That's over over 40 cars trying to get up and down that little dead end road that sits next to a bus stop and a liquor store and so much foot traffic. I don't know how all this got passed around so quickly. I know I missed one meeting, and I checked on it and it was supposed to have been called off. And then these other meetings, when I do go down to the Department of Zoning and Development, if I ask a question, they say all the information I need is on a sign. If I want anything else, I have to go get a something special, forget a disclosure form to get more information. And now all of a sudden, it is to me anyway, all this comes up and it's a done deal. Could anyone explain how that happens? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Randall.
Good afternoon, everybody. I just got a few concerns regarding the area that I stay in. There's been a heavy amount of cars speeding up down through Burks Road and Yancey Drive. It's a constant thing. They run that stop sign. There's kids that are walking across the street, trying to get across the street, but they're afraid of getting struck by a car. I know it's getting closer to the 4th of July where law enforcement are going to be extremely busy with gunshot calls, stuff like that. I was trying to see if there was any way that the city can invest into getting some cameras put up on City View or Burks or Yancey, something like that. So in the future that those cameras can actually capture people discharging firearms or something like that. in the future. I just recently lost my brother to someone killing him. And it would have been a better situation if we had cameras on that street. There's plenty of light poles within miles down the street. There's tons of lights. There's some of them that lights are not even working on it. Like they're not even on at night. There's probably like maybe one that's working out of probably about 5 or 6 of them down the street. Unknown of why they're out. It could be kids shooting at the lights with pellet guns. I don't know. I've seen it several times, but that's kids living their life. They're just doing whatever they want. I can't stop what a kid wants to do for a life. But I just need law enforcement to step up in that area because it's pretty bad. You got drug activity going down in City View at midnights and everything where I've seen numerous vehicles selling drugs to minors. And why is not law enforcement in that area? I don't know. We could be short on officers. I don't know. But I have not seen one cop, not one, in that area of City View and Birch for the past week. Where's all our officers at? Where are they at? Now, I went out walking Saturday. There was at least 12 cops on City View. I mean, not City View, but Old Dixie. All the cops were up on Old Dixie, pulling people over left and right. I understand you trying to get money, trying to get citations for everybody, but how come we don't have officers in our area? It's more easy to commit a crime over there and get away with it. Like I can go and discharge my gun and I guarantee you not one cop gonna come. But when I go and shoot fireworks, they will definitely come.
Thank you. Mr. Chris Randall.
Hello, how you doing?
Hello.
Um, First thing I want to say is, May 20th, my brother, was shot and killed on Gansey, May 20th at 10:15. And they called the dude that done it. And I wanted to appreciate them for capturing the guy that actually did what he did. And I want to say thank you to the law enforcement and the detectives. Y'all done a great job and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ibanez.
Honorable Mayor and council members.
Evening.
Sorry guys, I'm trying to get used to these glasses. I can either read or not. One thing they I got said is my sister passed away not too long ago, and I'm kind of like well, first time I want to say congratulations to the invitations that you given to the people to come to Forest Park and Star Park. And I have a comment from the visitor from in the bathrooms. They were saying about there need to be a lot of fix-ups and some things. Also, we've been working out so hard to make Forest Park a great place, but many business owners has been complaining about they don't have no customers because they're scared because the police. And it's not the present, it's the how. The simple facts to show love and appreciation, it will help. Now we have something that we call the governor law, the immigration that has our men's, we pay honorary salary, we will be working as ICE immigration is not acceptable. And also I've been seeing a lot of public comments that has not been followed up. Many of them are mine. So I'm asking you guys, please, put your hands on and follow those comments. Because I will follow up with whoever does accepting and helping me to follow those comments. And if you cannot make us find solutions, we can have a replacement. And that's the bottom line. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right, the consent agenda consists of council approval on the renewal of the 4th annual service agreement with Motorola Solutions, council approval on Central Square CAD RMS, the annual renewal, council approval on task order 2024-03-033 R2 for Croft to renovate an existing building located at 330 Forest Parkway for a vehicle storage and training facility for the fire department. And item 6, council approval to surplus existing playground equipment from the Pocket Parks. Is there a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Antoine. Ms. Rainey?
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Anton.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells. Councilmember Mears.
Yes.
All right, council approval on the take-home vehicle policy. Is there a motion to approve this item?
So move.
That was Councilman Antoine. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Gutierrez. Is there any discussion? All right, Ms. Rainey?
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Anton.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez. Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes.
Council approval on a fraternization and nepotism policy. Is there a motion to approve this item?
So move.
That was Councilman Antoine. Is there a second?
I'll second.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there any other discussion?
No.
Okay, go back. Is it on? Okay, let's see, roll call, Ms. Rainey.
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Anton.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez. Councilmember Akins Wells. Councilmember Mears.
Yes.
That's all right now. New items, community garden request. Is there a motion to approve the community garden request and create a second line, a separate line item for such? So moved. That was Councilwoman Wells. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Gutierrez. Is there any other discussion?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we using the ARPA funds? Is that part of the
Oh, that's-
process we have to approve, or would it automatically?
The request from staff would be that if it is the desire of the governing body to leverage ARPA funds, is that be sounded in the actual motion and authorizing the city manager to amend that budget accordingly so that it's done. However, whatever says the governing body.
Okay, so I need to restate that motion. Do we need to withdraw it first or just do an amendment to the motion?
Councilwoman Wells could just amend the motion.
Okay.
Okay, so I'd like to amend the motion.
To include what?
To include what Mr. Clark just said.
All right,
But this new agenda is getting me.
there's a motion to amend the agenda, to amend that item. Is there a
I'll
second?
second.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there any discussion on such amendment? Ms. Rainey?
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Anton.
No.
Councilmember Gutierrez. Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes.
Okay, council approval on the fraternization and nepotism policy. Is there a motion to approve this item?
Did
We
that.
already did.
Oh, I did just do that one. Okay. Council approval of case number PP 2024 the preliminary plat for 733 Scott Road. Is there a motion to approve this item?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Antoine. Is there any further discussion?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
I would just say that, I really, it is hard to do change and it's hard to
Are you
make.
talking to your microphone?
I am, but
Oh,
can you testing? Okay, I'll just talk deep. It is hard to endure sometimes changes. I know that this particular developer has worked extremely hard for the last 3 years to try to bring something to Zero Scott Road. And we did shut down a lot of things that were outside of our scope of approval process. And so he did change the initial process of doing townhomes into doing single-family homes. And I think it is something that is much needed in our community. And we do know that we have people that are moving in that do not require or do not wish to have a large yard. So it's not unusual to have single-family homes with not a large space. And I will say that I do sympathize, but I don't want our public to think that our staff does underhanded, shady things. We don't. We are very diligent in the work that we do. We are very confident in our directors and everyone that is on staff with us. And so I do not take that statement lightly. But I'm very proud of our team and the process that we went through. And Ms. K, I love you all, you know I do. But that's just my thoughts.
All right, I'm sorry, we're not going back and forth, Ms. Kay. Councilman Antoine, questions, closing comments? I mean, discussion. Councilman Gutierrez?
Yeah, so I guess I respectfully disagree with my colleague. I think, yes, we need housing and yes, we want more. Some people don't want a yard, but just going out there and seeing that space, we just went, yes, you had 18 townhomes and now we have 18 houses. So you still have 18 residents on 3 lots or 2 lots on 3 acres on a dead end road. So, my brother, I really appreciate your hard work, but this is not something that I approve of. Just because we need development doesn't mean we just put it anywhere in Forest Park. I'd be more than willing to work with you and bringing that development somewhere else. I know the city has different properties, but I am not going to approve 18 residents in that little dead end road. And it's not because of Ms. K and her people. I respect them a lot, and change, it is inevitable and people are going to move there. But it just has to, be right. This is our city and I appreciate the staff also, but I think just decisions we make now are gonna have to withstand with the future. So I just personally, it's not something that I'm in agreement with. So I can talk all day, but no for me.
Councilwoman Wells?
Yes, we just discussed. Right. Yeah, I agree with Councilman Gutierrez. I think everybody knows that I have been against it since day one. And it does have something to do with the families on that street because like they said years ago, and like they still say today, their families are the ones being impacted. And there are so many other properties that this project could have happened on. And being that we work for the people, they are our bosses, we should listen to the people. And you have developers that are gonna come in and do what needs to be done because these things need to be done. But I just believe in there are proper places to do these things. And these developers come in, they build these homes and they do what they're gonna do, and then they go home to their homes outside of the city of Forest Park. And so I would just like for not just us, but everyone to be considerate of the residents that are going to be impacted. And if nothing else, communicate with them. Although I'm not you all's councilwoman, we talk on a regular, consistent basis. And I sympathize with you all, and I put myself in your shoes, and I put my mom in your shoes. You all have been dealing with a lot, and now there's just more on top of what you're already dealing with. So I know I'm just one person, but I would like to apologize that you all are gonna even have to go through that. Like, again, I'm not against the development because we all know that we definitely need more homes. But I just think there could have been a better location chosen.
Councilman Mears?
Yeah. I agree with my colleagues, most of them. I feel like that that's too much going on in a small area. I've been over there several times and it's really gonna be a log jam over there if it were to come about. I want everybody to come to Forest Park, builders and everybody, just like my colleagues, and make Forest Park grow, but we just seem to be pressing a lot of houses in a small area, so I'm not for it.
So the developer is with us tonight, Mr. Lorenzo. And if you don't mind, I would like for you to come to the podium. And I want you to do so because this is a project that is before the governing body for consideration. This is a developer, when we speak about doing business in the city of Forest Park and how things can be made extremely difficult, this is one of those items that people talk about. This gentleman has come up with a concept, purchased property, and have made considerable considerations based on the feedback from the residents on Scott Lane or on Scott Road. And I want the governing body, because of the nature of our democracy and the beauty of our democracy, they are free to vote how they choose to. But I want them to make sure that they're voting on accurate information. So first, I would like for you to explain what was before us previously and the difference between what is before us now.
Point of order, Mayor. I just want to make sure, like, we don't have to get a consensus for him to speak, then it is not.
I'm asking him to speak for part of my portion for the discussion. Yes, sir.
Okay, originally, when we first brought everything to the city, it was originally 11 homes on Scott Road. So it was 11, it was turned down. A lot of the neighbors said they did not want any type of development. So we purchased another property across the street, which is 733 / Scott Road as well, which made us own 3.59 acres on Scott Road. We then tried to do a multifamily, 36 homes on 16 on each side townhome neighborhood. Miss K and the neighbors all came in and they did not want it. I listened to them. I have went to Miss K and all the neighbors to ask numerous times of what they would like. She said she did not want anything and wants it to be woods forever. And I explained to her that it can't be just that. The last meeting when they rejected the 36 townhomes, Miss K and her husband said that they wanted single family homes in front of everybody again. When I brought it back again, so this is 1.6 acres on one side. This is not 3.2 acres. This is 1.6 acres on one side, and it's another 9 on the opposite side that mirrors this neighborhood. It runs up under the building codes for Forest Park, other than making the lot sizes smaller, from 8,400 to 5,000 square foot lots. So we have got approved by the building codes and everybody. It's a 3-year. It's been a long 3 years. You know, I'm trying to invest in Forest Park. I truly believe in y'all. I have a automotive shop 1 exit away. I am not a foreigner. I am born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. And I love building houses in Atlanta like we have done. This is the first big plot of land that we have done something of this magnitude. And I chose Forest Park to do it. But every corner I'm getting smacked backwards. So I'm just trying to move forward, trying to bring a great product to Forest Park because you guys do need housing. You definitely need housing. Like I've said numerous times, you know, sometimes we got to look different, you know, but we got to do some different things sometime to be great. I have tried my best. I've talked to every neighbor on that street, and it doesn't matter what I put in front of them, they do not want it. Soon as the next meeting, when we asked for the single family homes, Miss K and then we're back. We don't want nothing over there. I don't know where else to go. I'm here just trying to get this going so we can build some nice modern homes. You know, we also have, you guys are gonna have fire and police. We are doing discounted prices on these and give them down payment to police, fire, and rescue. You know, yeah, but it's within the building code. It's within everything. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Ms. Rainey King. Roll call, please.
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Anton.
Yes, sir.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
No.
Councilmember Akins Wells. Councilmember Mears.
Okay. Where's my agenda? All right, thank you.
Madam Mayor, point of order.
Yes, ma'am, state your
Um,
point.
I just wanted to verify, since this was only a preliminary plat consideration or approval. Basically, I just want to get clarity on that, because is it basically they already have been approved for it? Can you just have staff clarify?
Yes, ma'am. So I'll defer to Attorney Matricardi as well as Mr. Shelby for some background on the process for preliminary plat.
Quite honestly, the preliminary plat was just as a presentation to you, because the only thing that we need to bring back to this board, to the council members, is the final plat. And the final plat is the one where construction has already been completed. And we bring that back to you, and then that gets recorded with the clerk, with the
Court system.
court system. I'm so sorry. So tonight was just really a presentation, not to be really voted upon. It was just a preliminary plat to show you where we were. When we bring back the final plat, and our attorney can vouch for that for me, then you will have to approve the final plat so that we can get it recorded.
Just for clarity purposes,
The vote doesn't matter then?
So why are we
Attorney
voting?
Matricardi, can you opine? 'Cause I'm-
So under the city's ordinances, it doesn't require the preliminary plat to be approved by the mayor and city council. So that the preliminary plat's only within the jurisdiction of the planning commission. So that was already approved along with the variances, which is also within their jurisdiction. So the only thing left to do is the final plat.
And then what if that is not approved?
So then they would have to go back and make changes to comply with the preliminary plat.
So,
To substantially comply with the preliminary plat for the final. plat.
so Mayor,
But
if
the
I can just.
denial is, I'm sorry, one second, please. But the denial is not based on the plat itself, it's based on the project. So what would they need to go back and revise?
Well, so technically the vote is just illusory, I guess is the word I'm looking for, because it doesn't change anything that's already occurred in the process. So the way that they wouldn't need to change anything because they already have approval of their preliminary plat.
Right.
get what I'm
So what was the purpose of it even being on the agenda and us voting on it?
Who
Ma'am,
put it on?
that's
the
a
agenda?
question.
Senior plan.
Yeah, it's a senior, and it probably shouldn't have not been on the agenda because our principal planner put it on there. I thought processes had changed until I conferred with our attorney. It shouldn't have been on the agenda. I don't know why it was sent over to begin with. I will be having that discussion with her tomorrow.
So one of the things that I think we should do, just to clear it up some with the developments, I want to talk about just a few things. So, if you will, Mayor Butler.
Yes, sir.
For zoning matters, notices are sent to everybody within close proximity of the residents. It's a matter of process. The second thing is there are two separate parcels here. And the third thing, and Councilman Gutierrez and I were having this discussion, perhaps the city of Forest Park wants to revisit its code of ordinances so that if there is a project by which a variance is required, the planning commission still makes recommendations, but those recommendations are then forwarded to the governing body. Because at this point, this particular development, based upon the use, it was approved because it's within its respective zoning jurisdiction. However, there were some variances requested at said meeting, none of which would come back before the governing body, outside of the agendas and the packets that go out for the planning commission meeting. So perhaps that's something that the governing body would want to revisit, so that you're involved in the full process, because what happens now, based upon the individuals that all of you have selected to serve on our urban redesign architectural review committee, as well as the planning commission, your approvals are coming there unless there's a special exception required for the actual use, if that makes any sense.
That's
But
correct.
that's something that this governing body can change, meaning you still keep the planning commission in place, but they're only a recommending authority for a final approval from mayor and council, so that we don't get into situations such as this. I think that's the easiest way to clean it up, but we want to make certain that on the record, we are aware that the zoning code dictates the processes that staff must follow as it relates to all of these things, and all of that was verified.
Councilwoman Wells?
Yes, so I definitely think we need to revisit that, because to me, I'm not gonna use the word I want to use, but it's backwards. Because these are people that we appoint, so how are they making the final decision on things that are gonna impact our community when we work for the people? So definitely, we need to revisit that.
Yes, ma'am. We can make the proper text amendment and bring it back before the council. And I think that law has been there, or that code has been there 3 years, Mr. Shelby.
Yes, it has been. Now, variances are usually not forwarded to the city council, but if that's something the city council want to see from now on, we can send that to you. Some variances are like a rear yard variance or a front yard variance or a side yard variance, and sometimes it's like 2 feet. So we would not want to just waste your time with 2 feet. We would look at it from a staff standpoint to determine if it would have a negative impact on this neighbor. If not, then we would approve it. So we've been approving those types of variances. In this case, he got variances the same way any other variances that we give out, but those variances went to the planning commission and they didn't come here.
And
Right.
perhaps,
Oh.
I'm sorry, Ms. Wells, perhaps to that vein, we can look at the definitions of what an administrative variance would be, meaning the allowable variance for staff to issue, and then also define those in which must come before the city council.
I agree.
That's what I was gonna say.
I have a question.
Yes,
So
sir.
initially, when this developer came up, this shouldn't even come up here with a vote, or we had to have voted for it because we were making exceptions? When he initially came up before with the previous projects?
I think when he initially came up,
Oh.
he was asking for
Townhomes.
townhomes.
This is on single family residence.
Right.
Needed a variance.
Okay, so you
Yeah,
needed.
he went beyond the ordinance.
Okay.
So we had to bring it here because he was looking for 38 townhomes.
Okay.
And I think now, is it 38, Mr. Kendrick?
It would have.
36. And now he's 18 single-family homes, which is allowed in that district. And the only thing he came to the planning commission was the variances.
Okay, thank you.
It was, just to clarify, it would be a conditional use permit, which is
Not a variance.
one of the things that has to come. So everything they do is their recommending body except for variances.
Right.
So we would need to make that change. And I can put something together, and then we'd have to advertise it in accordance with the Zoning Procedures Act before it's enacted.
With this particular project, I'm moving forward.
Right, the
Okay,
text amendment.
So can we just state what just transpired here? This was on the agenda for a vote, but in technicality, it did not need a vote.
Right, there's no.
So even though it failed, this project will still commence, but it would have to come back for a
Final.
final. But even if the final plat is denied, the project can still continue?
So they would have to make amendments in order to get the final plat. And
Let's see, that's where I'm confused, because even now, this is not being rejected based on any recommended amendments. This is just being rejected because of how people feel.
Nope, negative.
Point of order.
ma'am.
Point of order,
How
ma'am.
people feel.
So,
Wait,
the
hold on.
final plat is after the project is complete, is that?
Yes, ma'am. Once the houses have been constructed, they would bring back the final plat. It's just the law because it has to go to the county to be recorded. And it has to have the signature, I think, of the mayor on there and the city manager, if I'm not mistaken. And so that has to go before the Clayton County clerk. And so, yes, you have to approve the final plat.
It's just a mechanism of recording that the work is done.
Yes,
So the work will not stop, in other words.
Just formality.
Yeah.
yes, there you go, sir. Yeah.
Okay, one thing that was not on the agenda was the city manager's report. Oh, we didn't vote. No, we did vote. Okay.
Again, Mayor and Council, from a staff level, we apologize that happened. And will take every precaution within our zoning ordinances to ensure those items that require ratification by the governing body are only said items that are placed on the agenda.
Yes, please, because it makes, for one, we're wasting the citizens' time and we're wasting our time because it was put on the agenda and it should have never been put on the agenda. So I hope hold people accountable, please.
Yes, ma'am. And this is a learning experience. You know, one of the things I think it would be advantageous for us to do also as we go into this great news in the city manager's report is to spend some time going through said zoning practices for the governing body and how it relates to each of your respective wards, just ensuring that communication is there so that if you have different developments happening within your wards, that you're able to take part in that process. Speak with the developers. We have a concierge model that we offer up front so that as a representative of that particular ward, you are informed with all of the information. So we'll get some of that language back to you within the next 60 days. All right. To kick off our city manager's report, as we talk about this concierge model of service and service improvement, we are happy to announce to our mayor and council that we have deployed 3 new visitor sign-in shops around the sign-in areas around the city. The purpose of these systems is so that, for one, from a safety protocol, we know in case of an emergency or disaster who is inside of our building. And 2, we have a way to connect with all of the individuals that come to the city so that if at any time we want to retain their information for events, promotions, et cetera, we have it all within one system. And thirdly, but most importantly, this allows us to greet every individual that comes within the departments of the police department, planning and community development, and city hall. It allows us to serve them while calling them on a professional basis, Mr. Clark, Mrs. James, et cetera. So we're really excited about the launch of this as we go into fully providing this one-stop shop first for our planning and community development department. The other thing that I'd like to share with the governing body is all of you talked about all the positive developments around the city. We're happy to show you our efforts with the Forest Park City Center. Again, this will be a rebuild of our city hall facility comprising all of our individual departments within the city with the exception of fire and public works. So this building features approximately 60,000 square feet of full innovative space. It features a new state-of-the-art senior center, a community center that boasts an area for 350 people to gather, a rooftop terrace for our community to enjoy. We are really proud of the work that we've done on this building. It features a modern architecture while still paying homage to the character of our community. We look forward to having a session with our governing body members just to go over the space needs analyses that we did on this particular space, just to showcase how we were able to get all of our facilities under one roof. Again, these are just some additional renderings of the facility. Do you like it? So we're really excited to take this to full bid sometime before the end of the year in hopes that this development can be off the ground within the next year. All right. The other thing that I'm excited to announce, it gives me great pleasure to highlight the impact of our city's home program for housing rehabilitation for our legacy residents. This program was designed to provide safe and comfortable housing for the seasoned population of our city. As you all know, we consider them to be our legacy residents. From a list of 279 applicants, 65 residents were approved to participate in this program, having met the residency age and income criteria. These legacy residents qualified to receive up to $10,000 in funding from the American Rescue Plan Act, of which funds were granted to the city and allocated by our governing body to focus on the quality of life for our legacy resident population. This program provides necessary repairs and improvements to our seasoned community, a group often challenged with affordability and physical limitations. Tonight, we are pleased to recognize the first recipient of the home program funding, Miss Lorraine Jones of Ward 1. Ms. Jones, if you would, please stand. Miss Lorraine Jones of Ward 1 now has a brand new roof installed by the Roof Clinic, who are also here with us tonight. Will the Roof Clinic, if you will, please stand? These are the contractors that own the Roof Clinic that did this work to Miss Lorraine's house. The Roof Clinic is one of 10 approved contractors qualified through the city's procurement process to perform home repairs through this program. So for our general public, based upon this program, authored and sponsored by this governing body, Ms. Jones was able to get a brand new roof put on and placed on her home at no cost to her. A big congratulations to Mr. Eric Thomas and Ms. Tomika Thomas, co-owners of the Roof Clinic. To showcase this work, we ask that you please focus your attention on the screen. These pictures just show, since there's no sound, I'll narrate it. These pictures just show the work that has been done by the Roof Clinic in ensuring that Miss Lorraine Jones gets to enjoy a brand new roof on her home without having to worry about any leaking ceiling tiles or anything of that nature. We are really excited for this work for Miss Jones, and we are really excited for this governing body. And as a final surprise for Miss Jones, the Roof Clinic has also agreed to extend their work to pressure wash the entirety of your home. So we're really excited about this effort. Again, thank you for your contribution to the program's success and to this administration's vision for neighborhood sustainability as a component of One Forest Park. I would be remiss if I did not thank our governing body for the $1.3 million in funds that all of you approved. And I'd also like to give a special shout out to the Miss Pauline Warrior, our program administrator for the home program. As residents advance through this process and receive repairs for their homes, we are grateful to collaborate for the betterment of our community. We've heard some of the concerns from some of our residents, and again, we're only doing the best that we can. To that end, we are opening up our portal, for general contractors and others for a period of 2 weeks for other individual contractors to apply for this program for participation. So we'll open up that grant portal the top of next week, and we'll keep it open for a period of 2 weeks so that we can ensure that our residents can continue to choose from the vendors on that list. In closing tonight, I'd also like to recognize some of our new employees out of the police department, starting with Officer Chambly, working with us in our Forest Park Police Department. We also have Officer Nathaniel, a new hire in our police department. And last but certainly not least, Miss Barbara Beach, the office coordinator for the Forest Park Police Department. Again, a big congratulations for all of our new hires, and Mayor and Council, we are available to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions or comments for Mr. Clark? Councilwoman James, Councilman Antoine,
Thank you,
Councilman
sir.
Gutierrez, Councilwoman Wells,
Thank you.
and Councilman Mears. Okay, that is it, right? We did everything. Okay. Closing comments by the governing body, Councilwoman James. You want us to start on the other end?
Yeah, start on the other end. Start.
Mr. Mears, would you lead us on? Closing comments. We're gonna start with you.
I'm always
He
glad.
go to sleep when the meeting's short.
I was waiting on my turn 5 down the line here. I want to thank everybody for coming and let you know that we try hard to do your business up here with the best ability that we can, and it makes us do and work a lot harder when you have all our peers sitting out here, and it makes us feel wanted, you know what I mean? But I want to say that I'm missing Mr. Finch. He's not here tonight. He usually comes pretty regular, and he's a pretty good gardener, so when we get the city garden going, we'll be in good shape. And I want to commend our fire and police. They do a wonderful job under this extreme weather. And keep them in your prayers and minds. You just go outside and you'll know how hard it is to really have to get out there with all that gear on and do all that hard work. Thank you.
Councilwoman Wells.
Yes, so first I would like to say welcome to our new employees, and I got confused. It looks like she's left, but the new employee for the police department. When she told me she was here, I was thinking she was coming because maybe her husband or son had joined the force. So I was talking to her that way. I didn't know she was an actual employee, but thank you all for choosing the city of Forest Park, and I hope that you enjoy working for our great city. So we went to Savannah last week. Some of us went to Savannah, and when we go, we fellowship, we have a good time. Attorney Metricardi. We have a good time, but we actually work and learn. And so one of the classes that I took had something to do with municipality. And so I took a lot from that class, and I left my notes in the car, so I'll bring them the next meeting because I actually learned a lot and think some of the things we need to implement here. But one of those things, because everybody knows that I am huge on community policing. And I know that we have a lot of new officers, and hopefully they're taking the time to actually get to know our community. But one of the things that the mayor of College Park said, and I can't remember her name.
Motley Broom.
What is it?
Motley Broom.
Miss Broom, Mayor Broom, yes. She stated that a part of the community policing is not just about writing tickets, but initiating a program. So for instance, say if a resident or anyone gets pulled over in the city of Forest Park because their tail light is out or their headlight is out, community policing to me and to her is, let me give you a voucher to go to AutoZone to get that fixed versus giving you a ticket. Because how many times have we ourselves actually drove around with the headlight going or tail light? We don't know. We're not truck drivers, so we don't do a search of our vehicle before we take off in it. And so just small things like that make a big difference in communities. And so I definitely want to try to initiate something like that. We talked about quotas. I know that was brought up with previous administration. Hopefully under Chief Chris, that is not going on. I knew that was illegal, but that was one of the things that we brought up. And it was just a lot of different things. So I want to bring some of those things to our community. Not saying that our police department is not doing these things, but everyone can learn and do better. So just wanted to put some of that out there. Wanted to congratulate our Senator-elect, Ms. Wicks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And this is my first time meeting you. The little chat that we had, I enjoyed it so much. You're real, and I respect real, because that's me, and a lot of people like it, and a lot of people don't. You'll see that. But just continue to be you. You're new, you're learning. Hopefully people give you an opportunity. I am, because I was once new myself. And so just want to welcome you, and hopefully when we need you, you're there. When the community needs you, you're there. Don't just go, and I told you this, don't just get in the community at election time, stay in the community because you work for the people. So welcome, and I know you'll do great things. The next thing, I know, like the mayor said, that we can't control how people vote. Everyone, I respect everyone's opinions and everyone's vote, but I just really want the citizens of Forest Park to really be mindful, even when it comes to me, of the people that you elect to sit up here. You have some people that just sit here and don't do nothing. And I hate to go down this road, but it's needed. Anybody, and I'll just say this, Councilman Antoine, you actually benefited from us having snacks in the break room, yet you don't want the community to benefit from having fresh fruits in the community garden. So when you vote things down like that, that's going to impact the actual people that you work for, the people that elected you to make decisions on their behalf, and you get up here and you vote in opposition of it only because it's me, because it's personal, only because it's me. And I'm gonna go a little bit back, and again, people may like it and some may not, but I won't change who I am. I will continue to be the outspoken Councilwoman Wells, not the angry one, because people say that too. But if you just pay attention to people and their decision making, all of this come about This man used to be one of my best friends. Leave him the key to my home. Feed him whenever me and my family have a gathering. But because I didn't go against the grain, because I went against the grain and I didn't vote for something that didn't make sense to me, that someone was going to make money off of, because that's not why I'm in office. I'm not in office to make money. I'm in office to serve my community. And so when I go against something that's illegal, unethical, then you turn your back and you let the people suffer from it. So although you may not like who's bringing it, it's impacting the community that voted for you to serve you. Now it's time for you to actually serve them. Have a good night.
Councilman Gutierrez.
Well, welcome to the new employees. I want to say welcome again. Super excited you joined the Forest Park family. I don't know what happened, but I know last Friday something went down in public safety. I think y'all are now 1-1, Chief. Chief Crispin, awfully quiet over there. So Chief Clements, 1-1. Okay, thank you. So welcome to the new employees. We will resume Food Truck Friday next week since it's the 4th of July week. We wanted to just, maximize our attendance, so we'll have it next week. Staff, thank you for what you do. I just really want to, I know we always praise you, but you're trying your best and I appreciate that. And I just want to say thank you. I know I might, disagree with some of the things. It's just, the way it is. Nothing's ever personal. Okay. Excited about the community garden. That's going to be a game changer, I think. I'm glad that we finally are getting on board with this. And now, again, I'm excited that it's named after Mr. Finch, which is a wealth of knowledge. If you get a chance to talk to him and engage with him, it's really a beautiful thing to just talk to our legacy residents. If you're ever, even now, when you can't find Mr. Finch, go to our senior center. They're out there throwing down a bingo and dominoes and different things. So, yeah, get to enjoy our seniors. Ms. Wicks, welcome. I haven't had the pleasure to talk to you, but anything I can do for you from my office here in Forest Park, or any event you'd like to come out, please let me know. And I'm a veteran myself, so I got a lot of respect for you. What branch were you in? Okay, saying who? Yeah, you already know. Okay, thank you. And even though I disagree tonight with the development, there's different checks and balances, of things. So the committee got it. So congratulations to the developer. I know there are going to be some beautiful homes. I saw all the hard work you put in. It's never personal, It's just me. It's not emotional either, Mayor. It's just my personal opinion is we're not going to stuff an elephant into a water bottle. That's just how I feel with that space. So that's that. But thank you, everybody, for coming out. And again, anything I can do for you, here to serve you all.
Councilman Antoine.
Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for all the new hires that's coming. And God bless you guys.
Councilwoman James.
Again, I'm glad I'm last this time. Thank you everyone for coming out. Appreciate you all. Make sure you tune in to the ward meetings. They are online under Ward 1. You can listen to call them our subject matter experts and all the great things that are happening in the city of Forest Park. We're excited. There's a lot of things happening, and I want to say that I appreciate having the information on the agenda. And it helps us to get more knowledge about things that are happening, even though we didn't have to necessarily approve it. Maybe it could just be on the agenda for information's sake. But I know one of the things that we have to do is make sure that we are looking at the minutes and taking note of the things that are happening in the different boards. I know I'm the chair of the URA board, and we have a lot of exciting things that are happening. So we have a strategic meeting that's going to be coming up soon, and I'll be hopefully updating the council on the things that are happening within that board. But I'm excited about the new development. I know that Mr. Lorenzo purchased some property on the backside of my home, which I'm excited about on that. I can't think of the name of that street, but I'm excited about it. And I know that it's going to bring even more things to our city. So I know you all are probably getting calls all the time. Sell your home. We'll buy your home. You have to hang up on them people. Hang up on them people. Because, we are a jewel here in the city of Forest Park. And great things are happening. And then there is, I think, a grant that the governor approved for those with homestead exemption. I'm trying to get that information so I can make sure that you all have it. But if you have homestead exemptions, there's grant money that I think that the tax commissioner has to get, but we qualify for it because we have homestead exemption. So I'm still trying to get the information. So you all, if y'all get it first, bring it to me so I'll have it so I can give it to people. But it was sent to me, so I'm trying to research that. Also, thank you and welcome to Senator Wicks, is it? I would like to get your contact information if you don't mind, so that we can be in contact. Let's see. Police, I want to thank Chief Chris and the entire police department for what you all do. I know sometimes you get a lot of flack, but we appreciate you. We appreciate the things that you do in our community, and people speak highly of the people that I talk to speak highly of the police department and the things that you're doing, and that you're visible, and they appreciate seeing you and attending different events and things like that. I saw the little four-wheelers. I'm excited every time I see those four-wheelers out there in the community. Thank you so much for everything that staff is doing. We're excited that we passed the budget, so at least y'all get 3% increased cost of living, but hopefully once we get the wage and compensation plan kind of together, we'll know how much more y'all really need, because we really want to take care of our staff. We got you all the pension, so we working, y'all, we working. So thank you all. Have a great evening, and I appreciate serving you all.
All right, I want to thank everyone for coming out this evening. I want to welcome the new employees and our senator. You all could not have began your time in Forest Park at a better time. When I tell you the historic strides that we have made in just the last 7 years have been monumental, that is an understatement. And with your dedication, your sagacity, your teamwork, we will only continue to make those strides even grander. So I thank you all for choosing Forest Park, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you. Now, we do have to go into executive session. So is there a motion to recess the regular meeting and enter into executive session for personnel, litigation, real estate, or legal matters?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Gutierrez, all in favor? All right, thank you.
Gotta look up that word, make sure you said that right.
I did. All right, is there a motion to adjourn the executive session and reconvene into our regular meeting?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Mears. All in favor? All right, thank you. Now, is there a motion to approve an easement for 954 Main Street?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second? That was Councilwoman Wells. Any further discussion
To clarify for Georgia Power.
for Georgia Power? Yes. Ms. Rainey?
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Anton. Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion to approve the
What is wrong with you?
I'm sorry. He, yes, I did. He took my shoe off. No, he took.
There's not a motion to approve. this-
heels on.
Okay, I'm sorry. Take me off my shoes. Okay. Approve the separation and settlement agreement for JP.
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second? That was Councilman Antoine. Is there any discussion? Ms. Rainey?
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Anton. Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, that was
No way it's hot.
Councilwoman Wells. Is there a second by Councilwoman James? All in favor? All right, thank you. No, you have.